Hello dear viewers, welcome to the making of the bouncing animation project, where we look at how we can implement a formula in geometry nodes and use that to create this awesome animation. If you want to see the geometry nodes setup, check the link in the top right corner of this demo or the one in the description. This video will talk about the materials and how the background was created, the camera was set up, and stuff like that. A quick word of thank you to all of you that are supporting this channel by purchasing the project file from Gumroad or by subscribing, liking, and commenting to the videos. Thank you very much for your support and for helping this channel grow. Now back to our project here, and that created the preset for this nice animation, so we can use bouncing in geometry nodes. The world shader, it's using an HDRI from Polyheaven, and that HDRI is this one that you see here. And that's kind of it with it, nothing special done in this. If we go to the ground material, this is a little bit interesting. It has two materials, and I achieved this by if we switch to the edit mode, I selected some vertices and then I assigned the material to them and the other to the other material. So we have two materials, and the first material, the ground material, is a little bit more complex. The one that it's basically simulating some sort of a sky with clouds. The wall material, it has this setup that you can see here, and this setup is working like this. We have generated coordinates, and then I use this noise texture here that pass through a color lamp, looks like this. And to give its final shape, I use this mapping to squash a little bit on the X and the Y. So that gave us this result that I found that was more interesting. Then by using hashtag frame, we can get the frame inside and divide by some value to control the speed, and everything plugged into this W value of the noise texture gives you a little bit of animation. Then this color ramp was passed through this color ramp to get the different color that you see in the sky, this bluish one and this orangish one, and the result is this that you see here. Apart from this, nothing was done to the same shader, is just the default. The ground material, the one that you see here, it's using again the generated coordinates, and it's animating the W value, the seed value of this Musgrave texture that looks something like this. Ridge multifractal with these parameters is giving these nice lines here. Those are passed through a displacement node that is plugged into the output, and that gives us this displacement that you see here. And the same setup from the Musgrave, it's used to control the roughness of this by having these values that you see here. I also made sure the displacement is not too strong by taming it quite a bit using these values from 0.1 to 1, 0.9 to 1. And we end up with this awesome setup and awesome looking shader that, if we play the animation, is giving us these lines here that are moving because of this animation of the seed. Excellent. For the rest of the materials, the bouncing ball, let's look at the path. This is very simple. It's just an emission shader with this color and a strength of 12. And the orbit's a little bit more involved. For it, I had to activate a bunch of stuff, refraction here, basically. And here, alpha blend and alpha hash for the blend mode and shadow mode. And this is giving us this orb. And the setup for it, it's a little bit more involved. I'm going to explain it. So we have transmission activated, and then that's giving us the glass-like appearance of this shader. And when I did this, I took the UV map from the geometry nodes and took this Voronoi texture that we see here to add a little bit of interest to the surface. When passing this through color ramp, I did a little bit of displacement, as you can see here, with very small value. If you go too high, the results are going to be really strange, but maybe this is what you want. I use the same texture to build the transmission roughness map. Without this, we get this result. So it adds a little bit of interest to the shader. So these are the values for the roughness map. And for displacement, we have pure 0 and a gray with very small value, 0.3. And on top of that, I use the layer weight with the Fresnel output to isolate the edge of this orb. And that was used to combine with for the transmission roughness, and also to control the regular roughness to give this appearance of the edges that you see here. And that's kind of the most important part of this shader. What I did with the cameras, I want to quickly show you that. I created a bunch of cameras that you see here. Then I put the markers where I wanted to switch the cameras, and by pressing the Control B with a camera being active, meaning clicking on the camera icon, I decided where I want to switch between cameras, as you can see here, to get different angles. And then I added at the bottom of this, and it's more obvious in some places in the demo, I added those spot glows here. So if I switch to rendered view, you can see those. These are the spot glows here at the place where the line is touching the ground. And these are the same, and they have these values and colors that you see here. Also, I have 3 other lights that are basically white lights, nothing done to the color, but they have this power that you see here, and they are arranged all around the scene like you see here. These are these 3 lamps here that have a constraint on them. So this light controller empty, it's making sure that they are pointing the direction that I want them to point. So basically that's kind of all that it is important for this project. Thank you very much for watching. It was a joy to create this project, and I hope after watching the geometry nodes tutorial, you will be less scared about implementing formulas in geometry nodes. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day and happy blending.